ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਵਾਉਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਪਦ ਲਈ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਰੇਸ ਹੈਕਟਰ ਬ੍ਰੈਮਨਰ। ਯੈਸ ਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਇਮ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਜਿਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਹਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਏਜੰਡਾਜ਼, ਕੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ, ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ। Welcome to the program.
Well, it's an honor to be here, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome. So first of all, a little bit about yourself for our viewers as to what is your background and what prompted you to think of running for mayor?
Well, I was a small business owner in Vancouver for a long time. I had a marketing company based in Gastown, and then I was invited to work in the provincial government. I was the assistant to the Minister of International Trade, helping promote our businesses and trade around the world and attract investment to British Columbia. And then later I served as assistant to the Deputy Premier, and I got to work on housing in his office. And in that time, it was a wonderful experience. While I was always a private sector guy, having that opportunity of working in government taught me a great deal. And later on I went back to the private sector. But last year, friends, many people, very frustrated with what's been going on in Vancouver, politics of the status quo, decided that we should take the opportunity to run in the by-election and take a seat at City Hall. Not just seek office when you get a fancy title, but do the work. And so that's what we did. We ran and won in a bold by-election last year, and now we're carrying on. And yes, Vancouver is a new party we've created, and we're really excited about it, and we think we're ready to win.
Great. So you could have gone into any other slate which is already there. So you've started your new slate, Yes. And yes, you know, it's a very invigorating, you know, kind of name what you have given, and it gives you a sense of pride in something.
I hope so.
So tell us a little bit about that. Why Yes?
I hope so. Well, I really appreciate that feedback. Well, you know, I had started with one of the more established parties, but, you know, the reality is that the politics of status quo in Vancouver is very strong. No change. And in saying no change means really more homelessness, more seniors forced out of our communities, more families forced out of our communities, more small businesses closing down. And we brought forward some bold ideas, but some of the, or at least one of the big donors didn't like it, and they prevented us from being in that race. It was a bit of underhanded politics thing. But we looked at ourselves and we said, look, we have a choice. We can be negative, we could be bitter, but we said, we're going to be invigorated, we're going to be positive, we're going to be hopeful, and we put forward a new plan, and we built a new team. Big tent, bringing people together, taking the good ideas, and just getting the job done.
So you're having your slate, full slate?
We've got 5 people running for council, all small business owners. They are really great community leaders, and plus me. 6 votes would allow you to carry forward an agenda. And also, you know, if someone wants to vote for somebody that speaks to their truth, well, fine. We've left votes for you for that. But our housing plan and our plan for Vancouver is so critical that we're asking that people say yes, give us the mandate to keep this agenda on track, and we will work with whoever else you put on council.
Why do you feel the present mayor and his slate has failed? On what fronts do you feel something they have not been able to live up to the expectations of the people?
Well, obviously there was commitments around homelessness and commitments about making Vancouver a more prosperous place to live in. We've watched Vancouver become less prosperous, less family oriented, less small business oriented, and homelessness has gotten out of control and our city is degrading. And the reasons for those things, the reason why I think they had their minds in the wrong place in terms of a policy perspective is that for them, playing politics was always kind of the bigger end of the game, right? You know, become mayor, you know, much similar to my competition right now is that, you know, you have a failing career in senior level of government, you're on the back benches, you're not going anywhere, so you might as well be mayor. And then they, you know, they think that they're going to play politics with the mayor's job, and maybe one day someone will ask them to be prime minister. And, you know, I just don't look at the job that way. I'm very much focused on not just getting the job, but doing the job. And that to me is really critical. We need someone that's going to lean in, bring forward bold ideas, have the stomach and the smarts to be able to get them done. And while many of my competitors are saying, look, you know, I'm a leader and, you know, I'm going to bring people together, we've actually demonstrated it.
And what about the youngsters? That's another major issue about what we have to think that need to bring the youngsters into our fold, because they're the ones who are going to carry on this legacy of politics or whatever field they are in. So the kind of response what you are getting, let's talk a little bit about it and your vision. What does YES stand for?
Well, yes is an answer to the question, do you accept that there's nobody else that's going to fix it?
Right.
Do you take responsibility? And that is a good question for people of my age generation and perhaps even slightly younger. Young adults, good careers in leadership positions, a lot of them starting families now, homeowners perhaps, or renters just struggling to survive. Look, you are either at the table or you're on the table.
Right.
So you have to be there. You have to vote. You have to participate. Democracy doesn't work if you sit on the sidelines. So yes, what we tried to have, what we've attempted to accomplish here is a big tent opportunity for people to share their ideas, but more importantly, when we put down on paper what we're going to do, we've laid out evidence-based plans, not political plans, evidence-based plans.
Right.
And I think that particularly for the younger generation, I think are a little less partisan, a little less concerned about whether or not you're a liberal or conservative or whatever. They don't not so much focused on that.
Right.
They're really focused on a plan. And I think this is a practical election, and I think our plan is inspiring. I think people are seeing, hey, look, someone's bringing forward some new ideas, some things I haven't heard of, but they're common sense. You can't deny our logic.
Right.
And I think that's going to get people out on election
So
day.
what are those practical solutions you're talking about, your platform? Let's talk a little bit about that. What are the major issues what you are bringing forward by which people can benefit?
So the housing crisis is the
Right.
number one issue. I mean, and people will talk about transportation and homelessness and small business, but you have to understand all these things are connected.
Right.
You know, with the housing crisis is the disease, everything else is the symptom. And so what we said was, look, I, as a city councillor today, I'm the only person running for mayor in Vancouver that spent any time at City Hall. I spent the last year working very closely with our staff at City Hall, industry leaders, academics, community, and nonprofit associations. And what we've come up with is a plan, and you can download it at yesvancouver.ca. And you can download this plan. It's a substantive document. It's everything from using a chief economist to drive planning decisions rather than just letting the planners shape our city with buildings.
Right.
We're really about putting people back at the center of decision making. But we believe that we are laying a roadmap where the governments of Surrey, Richmond, Burnaby, Langley, Hope can look at this roadmap and say, hey, we can build neighborhoods around people again. Here's
Right.
how we approve it. Here's the system. Here's the methodologies that work. And the outcomes mean that we're going to create jobs today in construction, and we're going to create more affordable homes for today's generation and tomorrow.
Right.
And lastly, that we are going to untap this $250 billion of mortgage-free equity in the city of Vancouver and take some of that money and pour it back into good public services like community centers, senior centers, daycares, roads, transit, all the things that we rely on.
Wonderful. And of course, as you said, in details, people can go to yesvancouver.ca and
right,
find your entire platform. But before I let you go, on October the 28th, what would be your message, especially to, of course, the entire community, but specifically to the Indo-Canadians, because this program is mostly watched by South Asians. So what would be your message? Why should they vote for Hector Bremner and his team?
We understand that for more than 150 years, that Punjabi Canadians have been here building this great city. Vancouver's existed for 132 years and never had a Punjabi member on council. We have two on our team, Brinder Baines and Jaspreet Virdi.
Right.
We would love that you would be able to support them and me. But we are going to bring forward the most diverse, business-focused, socially compassionate, and ready-to-lead team out of anybody in this election. But the last thing I want to say is that we have nothing to lose by choosing change. By
Right.
saying yes to something different, we have nothing to lose, but we have a lot to lose by choosing the status quo.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Congratulations and best
God
wishes.
bless you.
And we
Thank you so
hope on 20th of October, people come in large numbers and vote, and
Tiga.
people are brought back to the decision-making process, as you mentioned.
That's right.
Congratulations and best wishes.